Yeah. So what will happen after one die? What appears?
There is no after, you see. There is no after or before. So the person
Yeah.
lives in that reality of time where there's a before and an after, and that where do you go when you die? What happens to you? And actually, the
Yeah.
whole illumination here is there is no you, and that's what's seen on Death by Nobody. There is no separate you who was born, who had a life, and who died. And all you could say it's an energetic shift, but even that's a bit of a story, you know. It's just that's all it is. There's all like it's like death is like you know, if you stand on a beach and you see a wave coming towards the shore, and you were to say, well, that wave is like somebody who has a life, and they're alive, and the wave is coming, and the wave crashes on the beach, and you say, well, that's it, it's over, you're dead. That wave is dead, it's finished now. And if you look at it from scientific perspective, that all of that is an illusion. First of all, the wave isn't even moving towards you. That's an illusion. The water is actually going like that. It's going up and down, not like that. And what you perceive as something that's moving like that is actually literally just the energy moving, appearing to move through the water. Then when the wave goes like that and crashes, all it is energy. That energy that you appear to see go through the wave is in a different form that you can no longer see. So you know, it's very much like that. A person who has a life and lives their life and then dies is as significant as a wave that's coming and crashing. That you think it's the end. There's no end, there's no beginning, there's just energy, which is unknowable. So nobody dies then, really, because nobody, in the same exact same way that nobody has a life, there is already
Yeah.
nobody, there's just energy.
Yeah. Just the energy. This does energy appear in different forms, in
Yes,
different types.
yes, it
Yeah.
appears different, it appears, and it's everything there. All there is energy, bookcasing, sharing, microphoning, china in Irelandine, zooming. All there is energy. But if there's someone
Oh.
who feels that they can know that, then that's a whole that's impossible. It's unknowable.
So
What's yearned for is
yeah.
unknowable and ungraspable. It's so immediately just this.
Yeah. So the energy is also empty, right? The energy
Oh
also
yeah,
come from
all
the
there is and all there is and like they're not. I'm not talking about nothing being everything and a different thing called energy. It's all the
okay.
same. Like energy is no thing, and being everything. So that's not a solid real bookcase only in its appearance. It appears that way. Oh, it's energy bookcasing. This body isn't a separate thing called Kenneth. It's energy Kennething. It's that's all there is. That's all there is. And there's never been anything else but energy, nothing being everything. And in that boundless, unknowable energy, that boundless, unknowable energy appears as a contracted energy, which is separate then. It's an appearance. And in that sense of separation, there's a sense of knowing. I know that I'm real. I know that you're real. I know that my life and so on. And all of that knowing seems very, very significant. And it's nothing. It's irrelevant.
But the contracted energy is an illusion.
It's an appearance, that's all. Yeah, it's an appearance.
It's also
And but all
appearance.
the time you feel contract, all the time you feel like an individual, it doesn't feel like an appearance. It feels like a lived sense of feeling that there's an out there and there's an in here.
Yes, for personality, it's very
Yeah,
real. It's
it
real.
feels it
Yeah.
feels very real. And then the amazing thing is when you apparently fall away, it's gorgeous. There's tons of people have said this. Is what's so gorgeous. It's so obvious that you were just always a story, that nothing even happened. There never was a real me who fell away, even that there was. And so that it's in that way, the exact same way that what people, individuals yearn for is simply already what's appearing to happen. So there really is no separation ever.
Yeah, just as it is, just already is.
just all as it already appears to be, but the individual rejects what already appears to be in favor of the model that's there, of the way they want it to be and the way it could be and the way it should be. And then that's that whole energy of moving towards something better in hopeful anticipation.
Yeah. Although it's an illusion, but for personality, it's personal, it's quite real. This it cannot be understood.
Yeah, well, I mean, the individual itself is understanding. So the fact that it can't be understood is not going to, the individual does not like that. And they want to understand that it can't be understood.
Yeah. So I think for the description using the energy word, using the word of energy, it's also just the description, right? Actually, what happened, we don't know.
Oh yeah, all of this is unknowable. There's no sense of anything that's coming out of my mouth that is significant or knowable or anything, because this whole communication here is from nothing and is simply energetic. It's not, it's, if you, people can sometimes stay with the words of what this concepts and the words of what's said, and that's fine. But what really this communication is just completely energetic, nothing to do with knowing or understanding.
Yeah.
And it's just heard as it's heard then.
Just the words to for communication.
There's just words that the words are not really, the words are not important with this at all. There's just there's words are used that tend to be as clear as they possibly can, but there's no sense here that Kenneth can describe what's looked for at all, because it's totally and utterly impossible. Nobody can describe what's looked for because it's simply already what's appearing to be. What's appearing to be can't be described, because any description of it would just be more words. It wouldn't be it. It wouldn't be the isness of what's appearing to be, you know?
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Lovely to speak to you.
Very nice. Thank you. Very nice. Thank you.
It's freezing here. Let's see, can I show you? It's frozen. That's my daughter brought in a little block of ice with leaves in it, and she wanted me to take a picture, you know. So then I just saw it when I went to make a coffee, and it was melting, and I thought, that's exactly what we were saying. You know, you're born, you feel you're born, you have a life, you live your life, and then you die. And that's essentially what death is there. That's ice that's melted. So the ice is gone, the ice is dead. And if we left it there for a couple of hours, then that little pool of water would be gone, because that radiator's on over there. And so the pool of water would be dead as well. And that's the way we think. We think we live in beginnings and endings, and it feels real to us. and it's just an appearance.
Hiya, Kenneth.
Hiya. Hi, Karen. Hiya.
Hiya. Snow here as well.
Is there snowing? Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's not snowing now, but it's quite pretty.
Yeah.
In Liverpool, Northern England.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Liverpool. Your accent gives you away.
I was going to say though, with energy, like it can never be destroyed. It just changes like from one state to another, doesn't it? It doesn't.
Yeah, that's what I was just pointing out with the camera. Yeah. So, because like in the story of you being an individual having a life, then there's beginnings, there's creation, and then there's destruction. So there's a start and there's a finish, and it feels real. And what's actually the case is just energy appearing as one thing and then appearing as another, but it's all one energy. So nothing really starts or ends or is created or destroyed, only in the story.
So like when that water disappears, like with the warmth from the radiator, it just goes into another state that you can't see.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the thing.
So sometimes you see it and sometimes you don't. Well,
yeah, well, it's that when you feel like a person, an individual, you live in the real, and you feel you live in beginnings and endings. So you would, if that were represented a person, the ice represented the person, the ice came along, the person came along, they had a life, and then you would lament the end of their life on the melting of the ice.
Yeah.
And you would feel
we
that's
all go
the end
to the
of them.
funeral. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and then we'd all be very sad, and you know, we'd behave in a certain way and whatever. But not that, no, I don't mean to say that sadness is just energy too, you know. I mean, especially it depends what you're talking about when you're talking about death. I mean, is it your 90-year-old grandfather who's lived a good solid life and is ready to go kick his kick the bucket, or is it a child, or you know, I mean, the enormous wave of absolute boundless pain that can come when you know, so it depends, but I can only talk in a general sense. And if sadness and grief appears, that's also energy. Boundless grief is energy.
And then the joy
boundless
as well of something coming into life, like a baby or whatever.
Yeah, it's all energy. The joy, the boundless joy of a baby being born is energy, and the boundless pain of a baby dying is energy. All there is energy. Yeah, and when you feel like an individual, you feel solid, you feel real, and there's everything is, you know, it's one state after another state, and it's knowable. So, you know, when you feel, if the ice was there and the person was there and it's knowable, then that change is to the unknown, to the melting of the ice, to the death of the person is unknown, and it's very confronting, and to that lives in the known, you know. So because that's unknowable, like that
going into unknowable.
So, and then that's because the individual has a lived sense of living in the known. We live in the known. We're terrified of the unknown. We're terrified of death, generally speaking, and we're terrified of our own absence, you know. Yeah, we live in the real. We're afraid of the unreal. Yeah. So when the sense of being a person is not there. The sense of being an individual just isn't there. There's just what's appearing to happen. And that's clearly just energy. And that's just obviously boundless. There is no other, there's nowhere else. There's no, this is one. And it's nothing being everything. And it's completely unknowable. So nobody really was born or died, only in the story, in the appearance, in the play of light.
So you apparently know, but you don't know really. It's like unknowable.
So when you say you, who do you mean, me or one? You apparently know, people apparently know, is that what you mean?
Well, yeah, like you apparently know things, you know. No.
Oh yeah, you live in your.
I'm having a cup of tea, you know.
Oh yeah,
but
yeah.
Like, but it's really unknowable.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're in the when you're a separate individual, you appear to be a separate individual. There's a living in the known. So there's a lived sense of knowing. Sorry, that's a bit low, maybe. There's a lived sense of knowing that I'm sitting on a chair right now. If I was an individual, I'm on a Zoom meeting. There's that sense of knowing, and when there is that sense of knowing, nothing is actually seen as it actually is. It's an abstraction, then. That's all it is, really.
It's like a secondary commentary, yeah, of what's going, what's happening.
Yeah.
It's like watching the football, but without the commentary. It's just the football, yeah.
Just the football, yeah. Without the tears, maybe. For you guys, huh?
Don't know, yeah. Yeah, I was watching the football last night, so yeah.
Yeah, I know, yeah. It's just the agony of football is it. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it really is it's impossible here for the person, the individual. There's an impossible communication because the individual is in that loop of knowing, and what's been illuminated here is unknowable. And it is what's actually yearned for.